and good evening, viewers. Welcome back to another edition of your Sport 360 Live right here at the one and only that is Atlantic Online TV, the Gambia. Of course, Sport 360 Live comes every evening of a Sunday from the hour 8 to 9 o'clock. And today, we welcome you and hope you will enjoy one and all program for today. Like I tell you, we are live here in the Gambia, the little smiling coast of Africa, and our studios is located in western region side of Gambia, that is West Coast in Farato. Well, today I'll bring you a very exciting program, so you will definitely enjoy it. But meanwhile, like I said, before we proceed, sponsors are still invited on this program. You can call us on the numbers provided, or you can simply come to our studios in Farato next to the main Farato Mosque on the Banjul Highway. Once again today, the fourth edition of my program, will be talking to my little boy. I'm so happy to have him here, no other than Aliu Fall, now working with Home Digital FM, which is a household name, also online also. We'll be talking about the way sports were and today and anything that you really don't know. And the second part, we'll be talking to the head of the organizing committee of just concluded West Coast Region Zonal Championship called Sadio Ganso, so mostly called Ganso. Well, I hope you will enjoy the show today, and definitely you will enjoy it. Well, welcome, Aliu Fall. I'm so glad to have you here, my little boy, Aliu.
Thank you, Big Sam. It is, of course, a great pleasure to share this platform with you. We've come a long way. You've always been a big brother and a mentor. I remember when we started, you were one of those people that we look upon whenever it is about sports. And of course, your doors are always open for us. Whenever we need information, or either we get it right or wrong, you are always there for us. So it is, of course, a great pleasure to share this platform to you. The pressure is, you can see I am swearing because if you to be receiving questions from your boss, it's going to be interesting. But again, it is a pleasure to be here, first time on Atlantic TV. I hope we deliver to expectation.
Obviously, yes. No, don't worry about that. I promise you, this is going to be a family talk. In one of our classes in our diploma in tourism, when we are calling for interviews, we change the dynamic. We tell them, no, we are not interviewing anyone. We are having a family talk, so that to ease, the border
at least.
at least. So basically, that's what is happening. Sport 360. Like Aliu, first and foremost, in respect and for my viewers, can you please tell us a little bit about Aliu Fall? I know now Aliu is doing a little on sport, but he's been there days, but now doing mainstream journalists, especially on TV and radio, respectively. Tell us a little bit about Aliu.
Anyway, thank you, Big Sam. It's difficult to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
But then I can say it all started, I think, in 2003, 2004. That is, I had been playing football. I also coached Navetan teams. So sports has always been me, especially football. But how it all started was, I think, all respect goes to Pamodu Bojang.
Yeah.
It's not by accident that we are still working.
Okay.
It started, I remember, one of my uncles, Alkali Cham, now based in Sweden,
Carlo
Cham,
yeah.
one evening came to my house and said, look, Pamodu Bojang spoke to me. He's managing a radio called Yirua FM in Brikama Sanchaba. Then I did not even know that radio existed. And he said he wants a sports presenter. He approached me, but I said, you going to do it? And I was like, wow, how is it possible? I have never been into, sports presentation or journalism. How can I do it? And Alkali was like, I know why I identify you. So you don't have any excuse. You have to go. But man, it took 3 weeks before I go to meet Pamud. So I remember one Saturday, then they have a sports program on Saturdays, 8:30 to 9:30.
In the evening?
In the evening. Okay. I can still remember. So on this fateful Saturday, Carlo came to my house around 8:20. He found me and said, look, you're supposed to go to the radio. And I was like, wow. So because of the respect I have for him,
Yeah,
I went
Carlo.
with one of my friends.
Mhm.
We Santosu and Sanchaba is not very far.
Yeah.
So we were there. I think the program was halfway before we reached there. I was just reluctant. So when I reached there, I found I remember the late Lamin Marong
Okay. Yeah.
was one of those in the program. Mr. Kebe, he's a teacher,
Mhm.
was another. Few of them. So I was invited in. Luckily for me, it was zonals. 2004 zonals.
Okay.
Brikama played against Sukuta at the Independence Stadium and Brikama lost. So that was what they were discussing. I watched that game.
Okay.
So, you know, I was given an opportunity to talk about that game.
Okay.
I shared my experience. On the whole, Palmodi was in his office. After the program, he called me and says, look, come to my office. I went to his office and he said, I'm going to give you this sports program. And I was like, this is my first time on radio.
I'm ready.
Yes. And he says, don't worry. I will be there to guide you.
Okay.
This was a promise he made. But I can tell you, the funny part is the promise was never kept. I went the following Saturday.
Okay.
I was there as early as 8 o'clock because it starts at
Before the
8:30. Before the program.
You are 30 minutes before.
Yes.
Okay.
So I inquired, where is Pamudu? I was told he went home. so this is how it all started.
Yeah.
8:30, I went in. But what happened was I had radio experience.
Okay.
I was a great fan of there used to be this program on City Limits Radio.
Okay.
Moses then and Kobna Andrew used to present
Kobna,
that. Then Ibrahim Mane joined
them. Yeah.
Yes. And of course the Peter Gomez show,
Yeah.
that is everyone's
That's
cup of tea.
everyone's pro. Yes.
There was, and of course, there was the sports program on FMB, which you anchor
Exactly.
alongside Yusuf B.
Yusuf B.
You know, so
Mhm.
I blended
all those
those things. I blended all these three experiences.
Exactly.
The Big Sam way, the Moses Nen way, and the Peter Gomez way. That was what I did.
Okay.
So halfway in the program, I opened up the lines for calls and text messages. But guess what?
Yeah.
You know, text messages were raining, calls were coming.
Oh my.
And everybody was like, this is the best, this is good, you are great. And I'm like, no, you are not saying the truth. You know, because this is just my very first time doing it on my own way.
On your own.
On my own.
Yeah.
So, but on the whole, Pa was at home listening to the program.
Yeah.
After the program, he called me and said, look, since I took over here, this is the most interactive program we had since we started. So I think you just did it the right way.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse to get it wrong again.
Exactly.
This is what he said.
Exactly.
So this is how I started.
Exactly.
I was with Yirwa FM, but me being me, I started venturing into everything about radio.
Exactly.
Everything. Sometimes I'll be DJing. I will do some current affairs journalism, but more concentrated on sports. Because in the end, I was the head of the sports desk. I also had some people that were working with me. But then I didn't stop there. I worked with Yiriwa for a short period. I left Yiriwa. I started AfriCell. Then I got so busy I cannot get back to Yiriwa. I remember when you said, look, when Yiriwa was no more, you said, look, you have some experience when it comes to sports journalism.
Exactly.
Why not come and join me?
Exactly.
In the end, I came, you handed over the whole desk to me.
To you.
You know, I remember when all these young boys will come, the Brother Jones, Mamudu
Gajagas,
Gajagas, the Yusufa Job, Molamin, Youngest, and everybody.
Yeah.
So you handed everyone to me.
Yeah.
All you do was to see when we get it wrong, you rectified us. So this is how everything started. You know, so like this, I was with FMB. Then 2014, I went to Paradise FM. Paradise FM, I started a local sports program there called Balabo Kacha.
Balabo Kacha.
Yes, after I saw so many radios using the name
Balabo.
Yeah, but that is my trademark.
Yeah.
So
I still think there's a program in Paradise got Balabo.
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
one board
exactly.
presented, yeah.
Sirifo.
Yeah,
So
Sirifo, yeah.
the name got the inspiration from mine
Okay.
on radio.
On radio.
Because then Paradise didn't have a television; it was radio.
It was on the radio.
Yes. So this is how we got into sports journalism, coupled with a series of trainings that we do. You can bear me witness.
Yes, sure,
and also we were so passionate about sports. So in summary, this is Aliu.
Yes. Well, there you got it. So, well, I thank Pamodu Boja for, you know why? Because Pamodu play a role, and that role is a trick role. I will be there for you, and you have to come. He went home
He was never
and
there.
say, now, what would you do? And then you get it right.
Yeah.
So, this is another form. So, I thank you very much, Pamodu. And all right, Aliu, don't stop there. Aliu venture all the way into sports stakeholders, because he was one time a PR for the Brikama Sports. Take us through to your, apart from the sport journalism, because we'll come by the days, these boys where I give you the boys, how you try to distribute it. But let's talk about from there, you kind of come back as a journalist, but also a stakeholder of a
yeah, exactly. You know, I hail from Santosu.
Okay.
Santosu was always a household name when it comes to football in Brikama. I played there, and there was a time I was the coach for the team. After being the coach for the team for some years, then I became the team representative of the team at the Brikama Sports Committee. So as a team representative, we know how the regulations are.
Exactly.
It is team reps that makes up the committee.
The committee,
yeah. So I remember, I think this was in 2015, when the Basiru Bajo led executive, you know, had some issues, you know, with us, the team representatives. We were not happy with certain things. You know, as the regulations are there, that the team representatives are so powerful that when they're not happy with any executive, they can boot you out. So this was what happened. There was this back and forth, up to a point when that committee was sanctioned by the National Sports Council. Then King Koli was the chairman of the National Sports Council.
I remember.
We went to Congress at the governor's office. Because of my media experience, I was unanimously voted in as the public relations officer and the media officer. You know, because it was the first time that Brikama Sports Committee had a media officer.
So that also is a history, because your tenure started that, because there were never a media
officer. So I can say I am the first person, you know, to man that position in Brikama. Being the media officer and the public relations officer. We all know before it is the Secretary General who usually does all the communications. We remember the days of Alaji Estabo. You know, everything you need to know about the committee. Honorable Alaji Estabo used to be the mouthpiece of the committee. But then here Aliu came in as the media officer and also the public relations officer. It was an interesting tenure. It's about serving your community. It was voluntary, demanding also. You know, because ranging from conducting interviews in and out, both within and outside Brikama, and also following, you know, Brikama Sports Committee had a team, the Brikama United, following the team everywhere, keeping, make sure updates are sent on how the team is performing and all whatnot. So it was really demanding. We were there for 2 years, and then comes another set of team representatives. Like I was saying, the power behind the team representatives.
Exactly.
So that they are not happy with that executive. The executive needs to go. So out of the blues, we also we never wanted sports to have that impasse in Brikama. So we all agreed. Is if also the first time in Brikama where a whole set of committee members prepared one document, a resignation document, and everybody signs that we are resigning. It did not stop there. We made a handover of the bank accounts. In fact, it was us that took all the documents to then the chairman of the team representatives, Mr. Sidibe, Sana Sidibe. Yes, we went all the way to his house to present him the documents. And in fact, the documents at the banks, we made sure that we provided that a name change be made for signatories, because we are no more there. So this is how it went. We resigned from the committee as committee members, but Ali continued his journey as a sports journalist. Yes, by time on time, it started with Paradise TV when the television came. I was giving so much responsibilities because there was a time I was the editor of the television. So I was responsible for all the news that comes on air, and also I was the head of the local content. Everything that is local, it was me. So I got so busy that on current affairs, I started losing track of what is happening in the world of sports. But I've always been following it, courtesy of the FMB radio station, courtesy of the Brikama Sports Committee. They have this page that they have on WhatsApp that I'm a member of, that I follow. And then the little boys like Sadio Ganso, Mohamed Lamin, Yusufa Job, KB Sonko, Bamudo Gajaga keep me posted. But that is it, bro. That is it. Yeah, so there you got it. So like I said, just to buttress more on that, or tell you more on that, he started as the PRO of the Brikama Sports. Never has it have. Then after him, there comes Malta, Lamin Sedi, and then currently our own, of course, little bit like KB Ibrahim. So he was on this board. Is now the PRO and the media officer of the Brikama Sports Committee, and I think that was very, very wonderful. Let me take you a little back. This when. Because Usman, remember your guys, your little boy Usman was here, Kebi was here, Gajaga was here. They all talk about this, especially when you plan something to attach them all, the ML. Now you will feel very happy that the boys that were under you, ML is all the way in Fatu, you have Gajaga, the one and only Gajaga, you know, you have KB, and the list goes on. Yusuf, they are all into something. I know you feel happy about that. Absolutely. Tell us the days how you were managing, because we saw in those days in FMB, you were sending everybody to a particular team. Yes, I mean, Usman said that from Germany. You understand? Yeah, he was the one attached to Bombarda. Well, tell us a little bit of that. Yes, I think kudos should be given to you. Because we know you have always been sport and will always remain sports. But then looking at your busy schedules, and you came up with this formula. Look, Ali, take care of the boys. I don't have time anymore. Yeah. So what I did was, I looked at these boys. In fact, for Yusufa Job, I remember we were on a program, and Yusufa texted on my line that I have passion for sports. How do I join you? You understand? So I after the program, I called him on the phone, and we had an appointment. He came. This is how he joined us. Lamin, I remember he was at the box bar. Musangom, Musangom who knows Molamin's family, approached me. Then I was the media officer of the committee. And he said, look, this boy has passion for sports, so we want you to guide him. So he can join you. Wow. This is how he also came in. Exactly. Youngest, Usman. So everybody has a story as to how they Fatumata, we don't have you know, even the other Usman, Usman Jallo. Yes, Usman Jallo. The same guy. Exactly, the same guy. So this is it. But what I did was, we looked at how these things are working. And I'm like, Usman, you will be attached to Bombarda. Brother John, I remember, was the one attached to Brikama United. Because he has this connection. You remember when they were going to Tunis, they traveled with him to Tunis. The game against Esperance de Tunis. Yes, so Usman was with Bombarda. So we had this those roaming. Gajaga was more into athletics. He was more into athletics. Gajaga alongside Mudlamin. But something interesting. I remember Mudlamin, when he came in to join, I will be like, go and prepare a report. Imagine you went to cover a football game, prepare a report and bring it. The boy will bring the report. I will not even read the report. And I will say, prepare another one. Yeah, because I just wanted to test your patience. How ready are you? You understand? And you know, there's a little secret in writing. Once you write something, if you are asked to write again, you know, the context will differ. Because you are growing and you have started thinking. So this is how it was. But it was a family psalm. You were so busy, but all these boys will come to my house.
Oh,
Every
beautiful.
weekend from morning,
Yeah.
we'll be together. This is where we'll do all our homework as to where to assign everyone. And when we come, what do we do? This is where we will sit and prepare, especially during Navetans. We prepare the league tables. We'll debate amongst ourselves, prepare the league table. So it was, when we come to radio, it was more of pouring out what we prepared already. So there was this, it was like a family. When I am busy, there is never a time that you'll see one of these boys not with another one. Usman youngest was close to Gajaga. KB, Yusufa Job, and Munlamin were the closest. You understand?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
but then at the end of the day, what happened was we had this very strong team that we were able to cover 5-6 games a day.
Wow.
When is the summertime during Navetans, everywhere there is a final, and everybody wants FMB, the sports desk, to be there
To cover it
but
for
we
you.
had a team
Yeah.
that we can send there.
So there was no problem.
No, I remember I sent the two Usmans to Marakisa
Yes.
to cover a final.
Yeah.
So the Usman Jallo and Usman
And
Sise.
Usman Sise.
So
Yes.
because Usman he senior Jallo
Yeah.
in the job, so he went and acted the boss. He sat at the VIP. So Usman Jallo went and covered the game. They came home. And
Yeah.
I asked, what was the score? They give me the winner. And I said, who scored? Usman was like, who scored? Because they don't know who scored the goal.
Yes.
Yes.
All of them.
All of them. Because, that guy is a trainee.
He's a trainee.
So Usman should have been there
They-
to guide, but Usman went there and asked the boss.
Asked one-
Because this is his junior. But what really happened was we all made our errors, we worked on them, developed them.
And
It
then-
came to a time, honestly, we had the most powerful
Obviously,
sports
I
desk
can attest
that
to
you
that.
can have in the whole region.
Obviously, I can attest to that. Well, of course, Aliu, before we go for a break or before we take a little, you've watched the AFCON, you watched the Gambian League and the European League. What can you tell us generally about world sports?
Sam, interesting. I love talking about grassroots football
Exactly.
and Gambian sports in general.
Yeah.
But one thing is certain, Sam. I think there is a lot that we need to look at when it comes to, especially football in the Gambia. We are a people who are very much result oriented. We only want to see win.
Mhm.
But what it takes to win, it takes only a few of us to venture into that.
Okay.
I'll take an example. The last AFCON in Cameroon, when Gambia went and made that spectacular performance,
Yeah.
I was one of those people who were not hopeful that when we qualify for the next, that whether we can replicate that performance.
That performance.
The reasons were simple. You cannot develop any national team if your league is not developed.
Mhm.
Let's look at that. Let's look at our national team. We don't have any local based player in that team. Let's look at our coach. The coach wasn't settled in the Gambia. He was not settled. He's not watching our league. He doesn't know our players.
He never stay here.
No, leagues, national teams that needs to grow. So you see, it was a one-off. We had that stint in Cameroon. End of story. Because we did not develop on those things. I'll always take an example of our neighbor Senegal. Let's look at their leagues. How many of our players are going to Senegal to play in their league?
Mhm.
How many Senegalese players have we seen playing in our league? Minimal, if there is even any. You understand? So, but then the thing is, I think what needs to be done is we need to invest in our game. One of the things is we professionalize the league, professionalize the clubs.
Mhm.
Players who are playing in the league should be professionals. That is, football is their profession. They should make money out of football. Once that starts happening, they will know this is my profession. This is what I am supposed to do. It helps. But unfortunately, our national teams, our coaches will go around Europe, select players from different leagues. Some of these players are even without clubs
Yeah.
who are invited to the national team. So I think it's one thing we need to look at. Another thing is school sports, Sam.
Yeah.
I think is the way out for Gambian football. One of the reasons is age is catching up with us. We were so much bragging of our under 17 and under 20. But let's be factual. Do we really have under 17? Do we really have under 20? This is the daily questions on the daily basis. Imagine every time you go on MRI test, how many players will fail that MRI test?
Yeah.
Because the fact is, we know we are not presenting players at the right age. But imagine supporting school football. At school, we all know you go to primary one when you are age 7. So once that is groomed from primary school, players, you get the best players from primary school. You remember there used to be inter-primary school football competitions. You know how many players passed through that? The Bunsanes passed through that.
Certainly.
The Dembasonkos passed through that. The list goes on. You know, so I think that is the trend that we started. You remember the days of the late coach Lamin Sarr. These were coaches who were going around the whole country, getting these players from schools. You know, bringing them up. We remember when Osam Dudu came here. You know, he toured the whole country and brought us the best players for the under 17. Basse were represented with Jetta Balde.
Yeah, Basse very well.
Yes.
Very
So
well.
since that time, when was Basse represented in our national team? When was Jarasoma represented? When was Kiang represented? You remember the days of this other boy. He used to be a defender for the under 17, under 20, up to the senior national team. I forgot his name. But then these are players who were taken out there from the provinces. They were scouted, doing their very best. We had regional coaches who were attached to schools. PE was given the priority at schools. So this used to help. Sam, when you were starting into journalism, you had Schoolboy International.
Schoolboy International, that's what I'm coming to.
When last do we have that?
They do this. The other time I was interviewing on this TV, I said that's my Schoolboy International.
Exactly.
You know.
So
the last batch of that was, I think, Ato Gomez was kind of the last.
When he was with St. Augustine. You know. So imagine now. Players playing for in the National League will like you leave school like after 10 years you start playing first division football. How old are you?
Well, of course.
You know, so you are already 20, 25, 30 before turning professional. What do we tend to gain from these players? So I think the best would we could have learned from Senegal. We've seen the Sadio Mane generation. How did they start it? You know, how did they start it? Young players. They ended up carrying the whole Senegal, giving them their first ever AFCON. So we can do the same. But I think the biggest problem we have with Gambian football is we want to get results, Sam, and we are not venturing. Just look at us. This team going to the AFCON, look at how many problems the team had. A day before departure, the team boycotted training. The reasons were the bonuses were not paid. You know, the minister was saying a different language. The federation was saying a different language. On the day going, they hired a flight. 9 minutes into air, the flight had oxygen problem. They have to come back, go to the hotels, prepare, and go back again. So there's a whole lot of problems that we are facing as a people. But I think we love football so much as a country. But then I think the right people are yet to come to give us the desired methods how to run our football.
Well, before we take leave of Ali, just to remind you that the Gambia under 20 will be going to play in Accra, Ghana on All African Game. Well, thanks to Ibrahim Kebi Sonko, he'll be traveling with the team on behalf of the ministry.
Wow.
So, Kebi, thank you so much for that. So, that is support. And then remember, Gambians, junior football or junior tournament is not about result. It's about talent and scout. So many people will always want, especially Gambians, result, they don't want to win, they have to win.
Exactly.
No. I mean, junior footballs are only to expose players. When you win, that's a bonus. When you take the trophy, it's a bonus, but it's just to showcase talent. This is what we have to distinguish them with the senior squad. And I want you guys to know about, especially my very people, Gambian people, please. They always want to win. They don't.
I think we have to be realistic sometimes. Let's look at the under 20 that James Gomez captained. Who made it to the national team? Only James. But ever since he had been consistent. But where is the likes of Lama? Where is the likes of the young boy who used to play for Steve Biko? That team had a lot of stars.
And the guy that went to join James, I think he was the captain for
the captain.
The captain, the Farafenya boy.
Exactly. Let's look at the present national team. How many of these players made it to the senior national team? So I think the process needs to be looked at. The graduation process from one category to the other really needs to be looked at. There should be this coordination in between the coaches. This is why it is important a national team coach to be resident in a country. This is where you know the people, you know the cultures, you know what we want, you know what we don't want. We remember when Paul Pot was here, was staying in the country. He was going to league matches and watching our players play. You know, remember when the likes of Fode Traore were being invited to the national team. You know, it was through Paul Pot. Fode went to Liberia on his debut, he scored a brace. You remember when the likes of Ibu Kante were invited to the national team, the Bully Drames. They were local based players, but they were giving opportunities to play in the national team because the coach was resident here. He was watching these players week in and week out. But that is a problem we have with our last coach, and I understand he's in Philippines now. Yeah. He's in Philippines now. Wish him all the best. But I think, Sam, we really need to be looking at how to develop our football done, looking at how much results we have. Because at the moment, honestly, we cannot compete the likes of Senegal. We cannot compete the likes of Cameroon. We cannot compete the likes of the current winners, the host and winners. Because we've seen how much they put into football. Are we doing that? We are not. So the thing is, to cut the story short, when it comes to junior, you're talking about under 20 going to Ghana. Go and see the kind of football this team will do. They will represent us well. But now the transition to the national team, this is where we have a problem. You know, so I think we really need to work on that.
Well, Aliu, thank you so much. We're going for a break. Thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Big Sam. And honestly, like I said, it's really a pleasure to share this platform with you. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, viewers. We'll take a break and we'll come back. And this time we'll be talking about the, of course, just concluded West Coast Regional Zonals, Dobas West Coast Super Nawetan. Sadio Gansoso is my next guest, as the final have already been played, and the winner is Fonyi. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back, viewers. Once again, I remind that you tune to Atlantic TV, The Gambia, and it's your program called Sport 360 Live on the one and only Atlantic TV every Sunday from the hour 8 to 9. I am the host, Big Sam. And now, that's my another little boy, the one and only. I present to you Sadio Ganso, of course, commonly called Ganso. Ganso, I know you've been coming on this platform this another time. Welcome to Atlantic Sport 360 Live.
Thank you, Big Sam. And then I say hi and hello to all the wonderful listeners that are watching and or tuning into Atlantic TV right now. Big Sam, it is a pleasure and honor to be here back once again. I know I'm not a stranger anymore to this platform. Yeah. So I just say hi and hello to each and everybody watching right now.
Thank you very much, Sadio Ganso. Meanwhile, Sadio Ganso is occupying a lot of stakeholders, or let's say positions, from the third division qualifiers in West Coast to the athletic that you will be having them coming up very, very soon. We've covered it, and then we're done with it with Region 1 just last week, last weekend. And also, the just concluded West Coast Zonal Championship, the third edition, which is the West Coast Super Nawetan, has come to an end at the Boxbar Mini Stadium on the 18th February 2024, Gambia's very independent day. And guess what? The debutant, the surprise team of the tournament, Fonyi, took the trophy as the champions. But Sadio Ganso is the head of the organizing committee. And you all know, in any competition, the organizing committee are the one that stage the competition. The executive, they are support. Sadio is the OC. Sadio, how was, because the final was played on the first New Year's Day, and then a replay again on the first. How was the journey like? Very tedious, I know.
Yeah, I know Big Sam knows everything that has been happening. It's just a question that Ganso should also have his own share of the cake. I think it was not an easy journey.
Yeah.
Because for the third edition, I think many thought it would not be possible. And then you and I were there when people were saying, no, this time around the West Coast Zonal will not, hold, because the late preparation of the tournament. But immediately we heard that the national zonals will not play. I think all brains within the region clicking and said, no, we cannot leave things like that because our athletes need more playing time. They need to have more playing time. That is to be given more opportunity to showcase their talent. That is where everything started, and then we went for that AGM. From the AGM, we had a pre-season meeting. Teams gave their consent for the first time. All the 11 zones within West Coast that are recognized by the Gambia Football Federation (GFF) all wanted to participate. And then you and I knew what had happened. 10 at the tail end of it, the 11 zone, that is Combo Central 2, have to pull out due to 1 or 2, 3 reasons that were beyond their control, that they feel like they will not play the tournament, but they'll still participate in the tournament. Yeah. But 10 zones participated, and then those are the normal zones that are within West Coast, in the exception of the Combo Central 2. And then when this thing started, I think you and I were there when we went to Fonyi, the first game, when Fonyi played against Sukuta, and then they won 2-0. When they won 2-0, the coach said it there. We were there when Jara asked, posed a question on the coach, and then the coach said, well, this year, we are not coming to add numbers, we are not coming to participate, we want to win the trophy. From there, he said, Fonyi want to win the trophy.
Yeah, we got that in records.
And then we got that one in record. That is Ibrahim Kamara alias Fida. And then second game, they have to play Gunjur at Gunjur. You were there, I was there. Gunjur defeated them by the lowest of margin, 1-0. But from the word go, it was all Fonyi. But Fonyi could not break the deadlock. And that was the second time Gunjur was defeating Fonyi in this tournament. But not in that same edition, but in this West Coast Zonal tournament. That was the second time Gunjur was defeating Fonyi by a lone goal to 0. And then when we came to the third game, they were to play against Fabi. Fabi pulled out of the tournament. Fabi did not honor the fixture, and then 3 points, 2 goals was awarded to them. In their fourth game, they played against Sanyang. They scored an early goal, but Sanyang replied back with a 2-1 victory. So they had 6 points. They qualified in that group, in the same group with Gunjur. That is Group B. That is Group B. Fonyi and Gunjur are all on the same group. And then as they keep on the journey, from there they went to the quarterfinals. When they were drawn against Brikama, everybody said, wow, can we see the end of story for Fonyi? But you know what had happened. You were there, I was there. We all know. And then even our viewers that are viewing us right now, they know what had happened in that game. They came at the box bar minister, they blew away Brikama anyhow they wanted, and then they celebrated. They went home victorious with a 2-1 victory because Brikama have to pull one that is in the 9th minute. They pull one back, and then it was all Fonyi. Fonyi went home with the 3 points. And then the long-awaited fixture was the semi-final between Fonyi and Sanyang. And then the fixture kept on, giving us a tough time. But at the end of the day, it was done. The game was played at Lamen. You and I, we were at Box Bar watching another game. Sanyang and Fonyi was playing at Lamen. All of a sudden, we had 2-0. Sanyang leading Fonyi by 2-0. We said, could this be the end of the story? But I remember you were telling me, no, this is the first half. The second half is not yet right. There is something Fonyi is telling us. I also remember when I had this radio tour with Yusufa one day at FMB radio station. Yusufa, when he saw the fixture, the quarterfinal fixture, he told me, Sajo, there's something I'm sensing. The teams that are playing against each other, some teams have went as far as finals, some played the semi-finals, but some have never been at this stage. I'm sensing something that is, something different. From there, Fonyi blew away Brikama. He said, I told you, something will happen. In the semis, you also said, when Fonyi were 3-2 it was a surprise. Everybody at Box Bar were there saying, no, Fonyi cannot make it. All of a sudden, in the second half, before the full 90 minutes, Fonyi have to pay Sanyang 2-2. When they went to the penalty shootout, they won. So when they went to the final, it was like just to complete the journey. And then you and I, we were all seeing Fonyi, as the favorites.
Obviously.
Yes. When you come to, in football context, when you look at this West Coast Zonal, one team that people have to respect a lot is Gunjur. Suleiman Barrow and the Gunjur and Dembo whosoever is connected to Gunjur, they know how to play this tournament more than any other zone. The first edition, they came, they blew away everybody. In the semi-finals, they meet Brikama. They played against Brikama. They have to blew Brikama by that That was the first year, and that year it was a home and away tie. Because
time.
this West Coast Zonal is giving you something that zonals have never given you. For the first time in a zonal tournament in this country, playing a semi-final in a double-legged leg.
Exactly.
So when they played Brikama, it was 3-1-3-1. It was a 6 goals to 2 scoreline, aggregate scoreline after the 2 legs. They played against Sanya in the final. They won 2-0. And then it was easy for them. In this second year, they have to be knocked out in the semi-finals. Third year, they are finalists. So this is telling you, Gunjur has something special about this tournament. They know how to play this tournament more than any other zone. So when they played, when they have to play against Fonyi in the finals, yes, we know when you come to football context-wise, we know what Gunjur can give, Fonyi cannot give. But when you look at the history, how these two teams journeyed to the final, everybody was stepping Fonyi to be, the champions. But never mind, when they played on the New Year's Day, in the first day of this year, that is 2024, we saw what Gunjur were all about. I think Gunjur, the media have to play a role in Gunjur's, how they play technically, they were there. But it's just, the noise of Fonyi was creating, so they were somehow optimistic. They were over-respecting Fonyi. But the tie could have ended in the first leg. We also what Gunjur were posing in the last 9 minutes of the game. They started answering, they started asking tough questions to Fonyi. With Fonyi, were so resilient and they were answering questions perfectly, but it was tough to them.
For them.
Yeah. Coming into the second final, that is the replay, that is 18 February. I think that was done and dusted. Independence Day.
Yes.
I can remember one moment there. When Gunjur scored, celebrations were going on, and then the first half ended, the second half was there till in the 82nd minute. You and I were there when we prepared the list of guests of honors who are going to give awards.
Yes.
When we prepared everything, and then I have to go to the first vice of the WCRFA, that's Karamo Koli, a member of Fonyi. I told him, Karamo, can we ask our high dignitary people to come in? Because how I'm seeing this one, if you want to wait until the end of the game, you want to get them in, it will be very difficult for us. Can we get them in at these 9 minutes? Because it is like the game is over.
Yeah, but
he told me,
Gunjur were leading.
Yes, he told me, Sadio, you don't know football. You don't tell me in a final, 82nd minute, you want to tell me the game is over. He said, no, the game is. He said, yes, you can bring them in, but don't talk about the game is over. The game is far from over.
Wow.
I said, wow, come on. So during that discussion, and then even the referee, one of the veteran referees, that is Mohamed Waicham, commonly called Waicham, was seated. Bakari Boja was seated. I was calling on the high dignitary people to come in, the like of Victor Fajara Sambu, the like of Coach Tafa Mane. I was asking them to come in, and then some of the honorables from Gunjur and Fonyi, we were asking them to come in. All of a sudden, a counter rose. Big Sam, you were there. I saw how you were commenting. How? And then for the first time at Boxbar, I saw real crowd.
Yeah.
From the first final to the second final, but the second final, that goal, that equalizing goal, the noise that echoed in that box bar.
That was so deafening.
I think it was even scary. I was even scared.
Deafening for
I think Fonyi deserve everything that they have got.
In fact, I have to go to the middle of the field to tell people.
Yeah, I saw you and I, everybody was there to calm the spectators, the fans, to calm down, to stop throwing bottles. Because to me, yes, it is not normal, it is not ethical in football game, throwing bottles. But to me, I was seeing it as an overjoyed something. The celebrations, Fonyi were just in another planet.
They are another planet.
Not on this earth. From Block to Kalaji, I think it was a roadblock.
And there was 5 districts.
It was 5 districts that combined to produce one team. And then most of the villages had representatives, either on the pitch or off the pitch. Either fans or players or technicians or administrators. So Fonyi deserve whatsoever. Congratulations to them. And then Gunjur had luck to them. But to me, Gunjur are the winners of this West Coast Zonal tournament. What they post, what they saw, the character, the religion, whatsoever they saw in this West Coast Zonal, they have experience than any other zone in this West Coast Zonal. But come on, congratulations to Fonyi once again, because it has also given another dimension to the West Coast Zonal tournament. First year Gunjur, second year Sanyan, third year Fonyi, and then other zones will feel like
year all is Combo South.
Combo South. So people will see that, look, wow, if Fonyi can come from Fonyi, win a zonal tournament, Fonyi can come from Fonyi, win against Brikama in a quarterfinal game. Fonyi can come from Fonyi, win a semi-final game against Sanyang after going 2-0 down.
Yeah.
We can also do it. We saw Costa. Costa, we are very close.
Very, very close.
They were very close. The third team because even Gunjur were late to pick form during this tournament.
Yeah.
The first game they drew, second game they won, third game they drew, fourth game they drew. You know, they lost to Sanyang, and what point of the time, 5 points they qualified.
Yeah, they
looking
qualified.
at Costa,
and for you qualify on top of them, for you qualify 6 points.
After 6 points. So I think this West Coast Zonal have a lot. It entails a lot. One surprising thing, I think the Brufut people will not want to hear this one, but you and I know what had happened to them. Just draw a game. Just to draw a game against Costa.
A team that have lost 3
in a row.
No hope.
Iman Songa win.
These Kutasubo people.
No, more Brufut very mbotula jele. And then, as we said, Costa, they realized the importance of the tournament from that game. When they won 2-1 against Brufut, everything was done. Now, the team of that tournament from the group stage was Sukuta. Everybody was away in Sukuta in that group. Then, Costa said, come on, who is Sukuta? We have to play. And then they had to play against Sukuta at Sukuta.
At their own
They went to Dembadu. I remember when Lamin Jara had that interview with the coach, something Babu, is it Lamin Babu from the head coach for Sukuta at Sukuta after that derby. When they drew, he said, look, Jara told him, you are playing Fonyi at Dembadu. He said, welcome to Anfield. Welcome to hell.
Huh?
He said, Fonyi is going to, Costa is going to learn something from. Come on. I was excited. I was curious. I wanted to know. I was, everything about that game I wanted to know. I was there. First game. Within 4 minutes, Pam, Costa scored against Sukuta. Everybody started asking questions. Costa defended. The last 10 minutes, Sukuta equalized. The game was replayed. Fearlessly, ruthlessly, carelessly. Give them all adjectives. Costa have the guts to go back to Sukuta. After all the hula balo, after all the brouhaha, after all the talks that were happening, Costa have the belief and fit and guts to go back to Dembadu. They still won by 1-0. They came to play Gunjur in the semi-finals. In the semi-finals, they narrowly missed to Gunjur because on that 9 minutes, they have numerous chances which they will even claim that they have penalties or whatsoever. That is part of the game. And then they never cause commotion, they never cause tension. All they did was they amicably, humbly went bow down of the tournament at the semi-final stage. So I think this West Coast Zona is just giving you a lot of stories that, even thinking about the other side of it, which was very funny. Our 2 incidents that we had, the VAR incident, you and I were there, you condemned what had happened. Yeah. And then you, from your own perspective, you spoke and then you said what you have seen in that game, that is the Fabi versus Sanyang game. From your own point of view, you gave your verdict on how the refereeing decision came, but that is a topic of its own, that those refereeing decisions are subjected to the referee bodies to act upon them, not us as committee. But that one also has taken the name of the West Coast Zonal to another level, whether good or bad, but it has also sold the name of this West Coast Zonal. From there, talking about the Fabi, the combo is Sanyang Bruhaha. I think it is the longest saga of Gambian football when it comes to zonals. That one also came and go. And then it have also shown us how dynamic this West Coast Zonal is. So, with all that, I think I have to give credit to all those people who were behind the organization of this West Coast Zonal, whether technical or organizational, whether with service or whatsoever, but they were a part of the thing and then they make the journey so easy. And that is why we are here now thinking of the 4th edition.
Well, there you go. A very remarkable 3rd edition of the West Coast Union Zonal Championship. A lot of brouhahas and everything. But I think with Fonyi winning, it takes the competition to another level. That's why everybody will want to come. And then we've been going for 3 years without sponsor, but we get some strong people, of course, companies that they said on the 4th edition, they will come up. So we're waiting for them. Inshallah, the 4th edition will come very soon. And also, like I said, on this Sports 360 Lite, we also need sponsors so that you can get the best sport. And that reminds me, before we go back to Gansho, that the Farato Busumbala Sports Association called Fabi started tournament, and the 3rd tournament finally slated for this weekend at the Farato Field Bar. Well, we have Black Lion FA will be playing against H. Fankanta FA.
That's Haken Fankanta.
Yes, and this is proudly sponsored by Mohammed Kante, the National Assembly member
Honorable.
for Busumbala constituency.
Honorable.
Honorable, that is Honorable Amin Kante. Black Lion FA, I think, come from Busumbala, and H. Fankante FA come from Farato here. So this is going to play at the Farato Field Bar on Saturday. Tickets meanwhile is only $20. So big thanks to, I talked to them on my other program on FMB radio station live, their president Best and everybody, and I think that was so very much. Shortly before we go to because I just want us to finish this zonal championship, just as an organizing committee and executive, a quiet one because we have a tight time to at the end of the tournament, $35,000 was given to the runners Gunjur and $45,000 with a trophy to Fonyi. But then at the end of the day, everybody was celebrating, but we at the executive level get some, well, that's normal, that Fonyi were strongly, some of them, I don't know how it got, they got a representative in Samba, in the executive who knows everything, that the price tag was not enough. And then we told them, well, the second edition, the first edition, everybody received that. And we don't have a sponsor. Maybe if we have a sponsor, we will, next year, by the grace of God, we can hike the price. But this price were discussed and sealed and signed by every member, including Fonyi representative, that is going to be given at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, we see the action. Quickly on that, just to highlight something for people before we have some qualifiers.
Yeah, Big Sam, I think you have said all. I think rules of a competition or competition pre-season meetings are as important as this topic or question is concerned. You see, before the beginning of any tournament, you have to discuss about everything entailing in the tournament. You cannot wait until after the tournament, then you want to discuss about especially price tag. That will not be fair to those who are participating. What happened is how you explain it exactly. Before the tournament kickstart, we had a pre-season meeting. That is after the AGM. Yeah. We had a pre-season where all these 11 zones were represented. This was what was agreed, that 45,000 for the winner and then 35,000 for the runner-up. If there is no sponsor, no matter what, because remember, an association or a gathering, a group financially not strong, that group is the future of that association is not steady. Because people, if they don't see anything in the covers of that committee, they will not be serious as so that's why that was discussed. So you're gonna go, you say, okay, in the finals there were so many spectators, okay, can we also increase the number or the price tag? No, remember last year, that is the last edition, the second edition, Gunjur played against Brikama. We saw the turnout at Gunjur. When Gunjur played against Brikama at Gunjur there, we saw the turnout. We saw the number of spectators that went and watched that game.
Exactly.
But does that prompt the committee to say, okay, now, there was sharing on the gate takings. There was a percentage for each team. There is talkless of home or away team. The two teams have equal share on the gate takings, and then the committee takes a little amount, while 60% of the shares goes to the two teams, a 40%, that is a 30% goes to the committee, 10% goes to the home team for the organization. Then why didn't the committee also say, look, people are many in this game, okay, let us also increase the amount? No. We went by, or we go by what was agreed, what was signed and sealed. Yeah, and so that's why the committee
by the majority.
By the majority. Exactly. So we cannot go until the end of the tournament and then we want to change. Yes, everybody want to see something higher, but we hope and pray that we were hoping on so many sponsorship deals that we were hoping on will come. And then it was even discussed that if these sponsors come, the price tag will be increased depending on how much came. But up to now, there is no sponsor for this league tournament.
So there you go. Before we finally go, that means once again, Fonyi, the champions of the third edition of the West Coast Zonal Championship, went home with $45,000 cash. That is 45, with a giant trophy and medals, etc. And Gunjur, as the runners-up, received $35,000 cash and silver medal. Well, thank you so much once again. Kudos and congratulations to the new champions of the West Coast Zonal Championship, Fonyi. Well, they are neighbors to me. I come from Kiang, so just Burman Bridge we have to cross and then we are there. So that's so close to me. Before we go, Sadio Ganso got some report for us, and he's also in charge of the post-third division qualifiers and some stuff. Sadio, can we go through before we find
Yeah, just to a quick recap of what is happening in the male and female third division of the West Coast Regional Football Association. As the third vice president of the West Coast Regional Football Association, I'll just give you an update of the West Coast male third division Group A, because we know there are 24 teams which are divided into two groups. Group A consists of 12 teams, Group B consists of 12 teams. After 6 games, that is after the end of the first round in Group A, yes, we have seen Desire of Brufut, who are leading the table with 16 points after 6 games, while Sibanor, taking up from the mantle of Fonyi. I think most of the Fonyi zonal players are playing for Sibanor United. So now I think it's the same jingle that have been transformed to them.
Yeah.
They are, firmly second with 14 points after 6 games, while Balosar of Faraba Sutu, is with 13 points after 6 games. And then, surprisingly, a team that was promoted, the newly promoted team called Jamurai of Sukuta, after winning 5 to 6 games in the qualifiers, coming into the third division proper, they lost 5 games out of the first 6 games they have to play. And then they are rock bottom right now, and they are rock bottom of the Group A, and then facing a battle for relegation. And then followed by Marakisa, who always has been competing for the first or second spot. This time around, they are languishing in 11th position. That means only they drew 1, and then they are only 5 points. And then it's too tight. Sukuta also follows, who have been battling last year. They came close to qualify in for the semi-final. This year, they are 10 position out of 12. Gambino Stars Africa, one time, fearless team that no club in West Coast want to play Gambinos. But this time around, things are falling apart. After 6 games, 5 points.
Wow.
Out of 18 points, they have to accumulate only 5 points. Newly teams are sporting right now. And when you go to Group B, where we see Misra, they pick it where they left it from last year. Last year, they went to the semi-finals. They lost narrowly to Tujereng. This time around, they are leading the table after six games with 16 points. They only drew 1. They won 5, drew 1 game. And then followed by Tujereng, who were also semi-finalists last year, beating finalists. They are 13 points, second position after 6 games. While Isofna, who came close last year, could not make it to the playoffs, that is the semi-finals. Also are firmly on third position, 13 points, after 6 games with 13 points. Rock Bottom is another newly promoted side in Sedis of Brikama. They won 5 to 6 games during the qualifiers. They came just like Jamorai. They came in the third division proper. They could only manage 2 points out of 6 games, meaning they drew 2, they lost 4. It is hard time for them, and then they are minus 7 goals, and then they have been conceding. Year before last, that is 2 seasons back, Airport, but GCAABIA, but they are fully called Airport. They played the final against Berawale. This time around, they are languishing in 11th position, 3 points after 6 games, meaning they drew 3, they lost 3. And the soccer boys, who are also long time specialists in this third division, are also 3 points after 6 games. So looking at the table right now, from the 8th position to the 1st position, anybody can qualify for the last 2. That is the best 2, because that is how the West Coast Male Third Division League plays. After each group, after 11 games, the best 2 teams will play a playoff, or call it semi-finals, anyhow you feel like. The 2 winners will play a final, and then the champion will have to represent the region in a triangular. But this time around, there is no triangular. There is a playoff game. That is only 1 game. That is the winner of the regional league, any champion that wins the Male Third Division League is going to play only a game against any either KM champion or Banjul champion or the relegated team from the 2nd division. 1 relegated team from the 2nd, that is the 14th position of the 2nd division will go for the playoff. So now four champions, only 2 will qualify, 2 will draw. So meaning you are going to play only 1. There's no triangular this time around. So West Coast has a better chance. Big Sam.
Well, thank you so much, Sadio Gontono, for that brilliant one. Thank you for coming. Finally, before we go,
I just want to do justice to the female league, as our female league has
quickly,
kickstarted.
because we don't have much.
The West Coast that's the WCRFA female third division has already kickstarted. 2 games has been played after two weekends. But surprisingly, Fonyi girls of Fonyi are yet to play any game, because they are still celebrating the Fonyi victory. After 2 games, they could not assemble even 7 players to come and play that game. All of their last 2 games, they could not make up a team. That is 7, at least 7, or at least 7 players could not be gathered to make. But as we are talking right now, Gobblers of Penyang are leading the table, while Nyodema of Jammanjeli are language in rock bottom, 0 points after 2 games. Even Fonyi not playing games are ahead of Nyodema, who played 2 games, still rock bottom, while Fonyi are yet to play, but they are on top of Nyodema, Big Sam.
Well, thank you so much, Sergio Ganso, so for that wonderful deliberation and quality. Like I said, thank you so much, my wonderful viewers. This is the end of our this edition of the Sport 360 Light on Atlantic TV. Like I said, once again, sponsors are well invited. We are located in the little smiling coast of the Gambia and the western region side of Gambia called West Coast region in Farato. So once again, we thank you so much. A big thanks to, of course, my studio operator and my wonderful cameraman right here. We once again thank you so much. Be with us every Sunday from the 8 to 9. Sport 360 Light on the one and only Atlantic TV, the Gambia. Keep on sporting. We'll be right back.